I think that the water trine overrides a lot of the anticipated friction. I think there is the friction, though, in the air. Pardon me while I get my... Yeah, because there's a Venus trine Neptune and the Mars. It's kind of sneaky, and the reason why it's sneaky is because it's Neptune involved. Neptune is a very strong theme throughout the rest of the year because it's acting as like a, well, they mention it in the yod. It's forming a yod a few times, but getting back to the sneaky, because Venus is in Scorpio and it trines Neptune here around the full moon, and then also Mars is involved with this, hence me sitting in pretty much my bra, which I wanted to get into. The language that we use already, it's here. Everybody notices it if you look, and don't be Luke. Channel, for instance, you're watching this via, maybe you have a channel on YouTube. I don't know if you need a channel to watch YouTube, but you need an account. But then there's channels that you open up and you have your own content. And that word content, why do we say content when it's really content? Really, I mean, we know of the feeling and experience in reality. And to me, content is, contentment is one of them. And so the ability to create content. So you're a creator, content creator when you're on YouTube or anywhere really on social media. You have a cabinet and you're putting contents in it. I just, I don't, pardon me. Oh, yes. Oh, boy. She's so special. See, part of it for me is what I am, I'm just part of the content, in my channel. If you're content with it, then maybe you'll donate into me. See, we don't know what will come from practicing what Jesus told us to do, which is to give to each other. Just give and let live. Really just give to the weirdest things, but we're talking about an ecology, and I mean like the weirdest people. Give to the weirdest people. Now, I'm not saying to all of a sudden now we are for everybody and you're going to give to people that aren't even in your life. See, there's an ecology that it would be nice to form, but see, I'm basically saying that giving is something that should be practiced. See, when I make my content here and I'm presenting myself and whatever it is I come up with, especially when I'm not distracted and I'm going to do some wordology or come up with some kind of amazing thesis on something or whatever, or just show you my cat. I am in a form, in a way, I'm giving, right? And this giving, if you think about it, really, I mean, it's public and anybody can find it, and I'm not at all passing judgment. It's not going through a screening that says yay or nay to anybody, right? It's in a form. It's a form of like, if I want to go so holy or holier than thou and just really stick it to you, it's like, it's like a tree. It's a form of love that is unconditional, like a tree that gives to you. And there I am, just perfectly self-righteous, and that's why that for $5 more a month per liker, I mean, just forget your likes. Would you please just send me $1 or $5? I mean, not $5. I'm limiting myself, by the way. Don't let that happen. See, that's not natural. If you knew that I might be able to give back even more. See, I value my life as a spiritual person, and that involves meditation. And yeah, see, I might be kind of going extreme with that, because really we're all in the same boat when it comes to, like, okay, so when we do meditate, have you noticed that you might not be in a place that is very comfortable to do that, first of all, but no, that's not me. I've afforded it for a long time, for like 3 decades or more, right? Just about 40 years of living here and practicing higher learning tools like music and stuff like that, and that's a form of meditation. You just bring it into consciousness, what is going on with a person who bothers to do that such thing. Playing music is a very unique and trippy. Sorry, I'm just looking to see my get my cat in on all of the looks right here, the content. Uh, So the language is here. It's a trip the way it's stuck out. You know, I kind of mentioned it in the right way the last time that I was here talking about it, and um, so $5, $5, you know, and what more can you get? See, I'm not gonna present my worst worries, and I do have some very heavy duty worries, but see, just going general for us all, isn't it monetarily? And why is that? See, because whose game is it? Whose money is it? And I don't want to give up now. See, I'm being reduced down to this. I mean, what I mean is everybody's being reduced by that monetary system. Let me tell you right now, if it's not the biggest meat grinder that you've ever noticed, it just says congratulations, you have made it to the machine, right? It's fooling every single body who gets up close to it. Talk about an event horizon that is happening in the form of people's interest. Now listen to the words, right? You know, how much interest do you really need for that to work for you monetarily? Oh, there she is. She's going into her box right now. She's having, pardon me while I really watch her. It sucks because I know that she's constipated. She's trying to go poo-poo and it's not coming out, but as you can see, she just got right up and started playing around, so it's not too uncomfortable for her. I'm just going to keep watching her and doing the stuff that I know that I've learned as a home remedy for baby cats who are constipated. But isn't this a great moment that check out the content? And I did edit when I went over there and tried to help her at the toilet there. Um, Hopefully it got edited. See, this is on the 17th that you're seeing this, but I'm filming it on October 13th. And I was trying to talk about the water trine that's happening in the sky. That's, to me, it's overriding because the sun is Venus ruled, and then we look at Venus and it's involved in a trine to Mars, but that trine to Neptune, it's very a healing time. The disasters that are happening by way of the water washing, you know, I mean, the truth is that we can't experience enough, like, challenges, it seems, and catastrophe, I hate to say, in order to get our asses in good order, to be able to practice the ultimate practices that starts to elevate our entire selves into a better place, all around, with everything that we come up with next to build ourselves up with. You see, you know, don't you know? I mean, it just seems like most of the time a darn tyrant takes over the airwaves or something, right? And not that I'm not all for there being like so-called leaders. See, there's where I put the quotes and everything. We're looking at nerve endings and the the means through which we do communicate, like talk about microphones and speakers and stuff like that. It's interesting because they are very much, the way that they work is based in technology, like wires and in vibrations and that go against membranes and stuff, is just like nerve endings, you know, and the ability to Mainly it's broadcasting, right? But it is listening also because there's microphones. And so that's interesting because really, yeah, and that talk about maybe it's a false prophet or a false stimulus if it's one who is always reporting, like the news, something horrible and lower vibrational frequency. Now, not that I didn't just say I can't wait for you to have the most challenges in the world. No, you see, maybe there's a state of limbo because that's all being inverted on us. Like maybe it's like enough is enough. Do we ever have a balance here that is like cohesive or conducive to our lives, like our individual lives? And there's where I always see. I kind of thinking a lot. If you haven't noticed, think with me a little bit, maybe. Not a hazard here, by the way. I just let things in. A meditator is letting things in. It's like, well, more and more it comes in that, well, what will replace the massive, like, say, antisocial microphones is just a whole different schooling. And there's where the problem is because the schooling, of course, the Rockefeller schooling or who else, the Rothschilds, they have their programming that's geared for like it's pretty darn good for them. Woo! But otherwise, I envision something that's based on the fact that the way we live, the way we do, right? Saying we tend to be social, we tend to really we do want to work things out, but if we're taking orders over here and we're not looking at each other and saying, well, what do we need here? Instead of going like this and saying, you know what I mean? It's like, take orders over here. And then even the work scene, it's like, well, what are you working for? In what area? Why is it that you have to drive and traipse over the whole entire land just to do what? For whom? To work what wheel? And the bottom line, it's always like this. It's like, just because you wanted food? Why couldn't you just go plant some food? Get in shape. Look how fucking ugly you people are ending up. And your medicines are fake. Pardon me. Isn't this great? But there's something in the air that is that simple. Really, the water. See, I don't know much about it except for I have Jupiter and Pisces, which might kind of be weird with that. It's kind of a weird waterfall that maybe it's a sinkhole. I don't know. But no, it's the Piscean vibe of the whole ocean expanded with Jupiter there going backwards. It's like maybe it does have some weird cyclonic things that go deep inside. And it's like, no, there's air hole down there, even if you catch the right vein or whatever. But it is there. That's the bottom line. It's very nurturing. It's just a whole other world. It's what fuels everything. Hydrogen and oxygen, 2 parts oxygen. H2O is behind everything. And if you know the Pisces people, so you can kind of hear it in my voice, it's like, this is more than earthy grounding. You know how water vibrates? And I don't know if you know, but underneath the water, I don't know, I noticed it, is when you see somebody doing something over there, like tapping on something, and it hits your ear faster. Sound travels faster underneath water than in the air. That's what I noticed. See, that's something that a fish or a dolphin knows right away, or that you'll notice only if you have fish or dolphin in you, which if you have a water sign in there, and I do, if you have a planet in water, then you have fish in you that can hear in a certain way, or you're tasting the environment in a certain way that is like, they taste everything. But man, they are working with vibrational frequency and that ability to hear like that. And yeah, it's a different world under there. And so, but see, that's what we're working with everything. Everything has water in it. And anyway, I just stressing on that because, that it's very magical. It's highly communicative. It's like the dominator in psychic um, vibrational there-ness. Pardon my lack of vocabulary words right now. I think all of that will help. It will chime in when we get away from the Pluto that's in at 29-degree Aquarius, Capricorn. It's like going to be a relief, except for if you know some people that have like an early degree fixed sign at 0 degree or 1. And even, yes, the cardinal signs at late degree. That's what we're dealing with right now, is the people that have a late degree. It's that cusp energy, and they're going through a hard time. It depends on what sign it is or what planet it is. And I'm going to start taking myself more seriously. I think that people don't and take me seriously as far as the energy that I will turn towards them if they inquire and say, here's my information, let's do this as far as the astrological service, I guess. I know it's a lot of money, but I will probably take more time than ever with you, really, if it's happened. I mean, I have a thing with my Venus, which is our money. Venus rules the way in which we operate domestically, particularly our associations up close, our friends, like on a heart level, that really it does start to reflect on like our career, our love life, right? Of course, it's hooked into our resourcing and our monies and stuff like that. So um, for me, Venus and Virgo, it's to provide some kind of service, of course, and that's for everybody, right? If they all have this orientation of what will you do for money? And so whenever I talk about it, it sounds lame, but there's a lot of things that I could specialize, and I should be specializing in, and I might be driven to that, but I'm actually trying to work it to where we don't have to be so 3D. And maybe this is a patch job. Maybe social media is supposed to be a watering hole for just like I said, it's a patch job for okay, of course everybody has bills to pay up to, of course, rent bills. How about the monthly cost of living is what they call it? Well, why can't this help us? See, getting back to content creators, people who make content and see they don't really create content um, without attracting people, right? I mean, eventually, especially if you talk about that very much most popular and on-demand subject matter, you cannot get enough of it, narcissism, which even though we don't know what that word even means, we don't clarify it at all, we just think we know exactly what we're talking about. And it is a subject matter that just keeps unfolding and unfolding and unfolding and unfolding and unfolding and unfolding, because it is trying to look into the nature of the mind, and it's like, well, where is it? And so all we can do is talk about behavioral patternings, unfortunately, that come up in a flash. Sometimes for some people, right, we have to deal with it right away. It's like, oh no, God. Like, of course, it's like the elephant in the china shop. Sorry, I would like to edit all of this stuff that I'm stuttering around about, but just putting up more content. The cat is done playing, but no, here she is. The content, it's kind of funny. Are you content? And see, if you're content, then with it, see, first of all, how do you become content enough to even become a creator? Yeah, that could be a real thing in this particular realm, that where we can't see that we are being manipulated. We are being highly controlled. When it comes to our 3D reality, how about that? Like, okay, so now we're just about like on fucking feed from the system. Like, if they have our water pumped in and they have our electricity pumped in, why isn't our food pumped in, right? That's to me, having said that, when you think with yourself a little bit and think with me, I see a movie out there that says, man, that's scientifically they have figured out, now we have got to make the rest just a blind run for food. and let's make every taste and every sensation possible on every street corner, just but it's not really that available, right? It's because you have worked doing something that very questionable, you know. It's like, well, why didn't you just fucking, why? You know, the more you get up there to the scene of factory workers and stuff, but really we question the school systems out there, the institutions where they have people pushing around what? You see, if they were meditating and doing stuff like out in the garden, because it's way more than just gardening. Gardening is another higher learning tool that leads us away from the mind and more into the feelings of heart and accomplishments therein that everybody needs to know. It's like, no, this is the reality of how to grow a carrot or whatever. You know, in case like carrots, you know, I don't know, man. Some people not even eating their carrots every day yet anymore. Anyway, happy lunchtime, everybody, if there's such a thing. You know, really just eat when it feels like you need to eat, right? If you can, you know, and take care of yourself, right? If you're lucky, you're able to experience freedom a little bit away from the that that run. And it's like, man, can we free ourselves up? Getting back to the natural disasters and stuff that we can only wish that it helps people enough into a simplicity of life that they become roamers of the world. Just become roamers and roaming. See, like I said, and this is a hell of a strong statement to say because I'm not all for being miserable on the streets. Really feeling like you are a less than. There's where Christ Jesus would suggest that no, those people, most likely there's a lot, if you look into them, they have just dropped the ball. They're like, I cannot adjust to this profoundly sick fucking thing. What is this machine running itself out there? And whoever finds themselves able to do it, you know, that they need to check their morals or something. Really, it's like this is the conversation that we might need to look into with that cardinal square. And what better a way to have it done with that Mars and Cancer? Really, it's involved with the grand trine that the water is communicating. And Venus and Scorpio, who's actually interested in the most underground subject. It's like, yes, no, are we safe? We're still here, and even though we saw plenty of the truth, we didn't die. Um, yes, and because Pluto ruled, and then we look at Pluto that's involved with this darned um, T, T cardinal square in the sky, cardinal cross. It's a big lesson. It's a big, just looking into this very important subject matter of our feelings, you know, how we feel about things, how sensitive we can be. Like, there are issues that rake our fucking nerves over the coals, man. Just the basic stuff, like and it seems to happen early. You want to talk about your Mars? I mean, your emotions, your moon, this full moon in Aries, which is on the 17th. See, I thought it was on the 16th, so I'm putting this on the 17th, and which is the big baby, is the baby of the zodiac who has that first response. And if you're ignoring a first response, cry, then don't be surprised when you look over twice and you look over again, and it's not pretty scene. Horrible, louche collecting foundation will love you for having neglected that emotion because it turns into worse, right? Like the first alert that says, "Oh God, I better get that cat away from the curb that's on the side of the road." And why is it like that? And it's like it's so hot, and I better, you know. And what are you gonna do? God, how terrible society is that we can't take care. I mean, that scene like that, and then you look over it, and the next time you look over it, you think, well, somebody else will get it, but no, you were the only one to get it. And you look over it the next time, just 5 hours later or something, you go on lunch break, and the cat is now dead there. And people listening to this who hate cats are like, yay! And it's like, okay, whatever, I understand, but there's a way to get points, even with yourself, one of these days. And in other words, to not hate yourself on a day-to-day basis. And it doesn't have to be that you save the cat. It could be something else. Maybe can you take care of a spider plant? How good are you with that? You know, the suggestions for a lot of narcissists, and now that I mentioned narcissists at minute 25, is to get some spider plants, man. And if those things can live, like at least try to keep it for 2.5 years, because that's the real time it takes to see that even if you have a friend there, let alone a romantic partner, like a love relationship that you can probably get involved with. It takes another 2.5 years to even see, like, okay, so now we're intimate. Let's see how they treat that. They call it adult subject matter, but now what we really mean is human subject matter. Just people that they qualify to handle that subject matter. They're probably even interested in it and know how to work the beautiful dynamics going on within it, whatever it is, growth that we're going to achieve through it is only made for the humane. Thank you for your donation. I'll put my best into it when I get that clickety wick wick. But see, yes, I have to remember to advertise, right? In every single description, I should have my PayPal account and my Cash App account. I'll do it now. Thank you very much.